Gerrard! Hello, here we go. Costa, Keegan, 1-0. Still Barnes, that's a fabulous individual goal. Corner taken quickly, Origi!
Hello and welcome to the Liverpool Way podcast after a stressful night at the City Ground that ended in a 1-1 draw. We could have won, should have won even, but for a while it looked like we might lose, and I feel like I aged about 5 years during that game. I'm Dave Usher, editor at liverpoolway.co.uk, and with me for this one I've got Julian Richards and Ian Brown. Alright Jules, I'll start with you. You're usually at this game. You didn't go this time because you were fearing the worst. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I was fearing the worst when the fixtures came out and it was Forest away in midweek in January. This was back in June. I thought, no, I'm not going to that. Can't be asked for that shit. The game played out almost exactly as I thought it would for about 70 minutes till we scored, I think, and then the sort of the game changed for me. I was listening to the Athletics Totally Football show, and they reeled off like a bunch of statistics about Forest. And I was listening to earlier today, and these statistics were just like, if when they score first, they've won 10 out of 11. They don't allow shots inside the box. They're the best team in the league at not allowing shots allowing shots from the furthest distance. I think it's like 18 yards, so not in the box. They have the lowest amount of possession in the league, of second to Everton. They're not that fussed by possession, and I just thought this is an absolute, like, they're third in the league. Their fans are up. They're feeling the old days of the 70s. It's a night game. They don't like us. We don't like them. We haven't been good there in the last 2 years. We've been like to the City Ground. Even last year when we scored late on with Darwin, it still wasn't a good performance. And it just the first half, I was just nodding along like the old Batistuta nod, like, yep, no, that's exactly what I thought it would be. Like, they know exactly how they want to play. They don't want the ball. They want to hit you on the counter, and that's it. And it's a weird one, right? Because I was thinking about this when we were on top in the last 20 minutes. You're not a top. Are you a top? Can you be a top team if you never want the ball? Like, is it possible? Surely, by definition, a top team wants to dominate games.
It's not sustainable.
It's not. And so, I was thinking, like, so they're feeling it, like, I'm not listening to sort of Rio Ferdinand and that sort of thing, saying Forest are back and everything, because this is still, like, it's a really good season for them, but it's still an aberration even fucking arboretum, aberration season for them. It's not the norm. It might be the norm, but it's not the norm. But you can't honestly, like, watching like us dominate the ball in that second half, you'd be sitting there thinking, like, yeah, we're back. This is good. This is what we want. It's like Nuno's got the team and the squad working to exactly how he wants to play, and it's really, really fucking effective. And I wouldn't stand here and say, "Oh, it's not my type of football. They shouldn't play like that." They're perfectly entitled to play like that, and if that's how they want to play, and it's having results to them, fair play, carry on. But it's not like you're not going to be a top team if you play like that. You're always going to be the plucky underdog, going against the tide, getting up the league, but it's, as you say, not sustainable. But for that first half, every statistic that was listed on that Totally Football show was just there in front of our eyes. We seemed to, like, even lean into it in the first 15 minutes, like, oh, they don't allow any shots from this distance. Well, we'll just shoot from further out. Then fuck you, have that. And it was just these wild, mad shots.
Yeah.
And, like, however big a proponent of XG you are, one thing XG does tell you is, like, when you're growing up, you always want to have a dig from distance, didn't you? Like, you always want to be like, have the glory goal, the really good looking goal. But all XG really tells you is they're really fucking hard to do. They're really low percentage. You really shouldn't do them if you can help it. And in the first 20 minutes, we were just like, we'll take any chance we see a goal, we're going to hit it. And they were just going off. They were like me fucking playing golf. They were going off to the right, off to the left, anywhere but where they should be going. It was really weird. And then we conceded kind of out of nowhere, but then that's how Forest play. So that wasn't it wasn't a shock that we conceded. It was, we can break the goal down in a little bit. And they went in at half time, and I was just like, yeah, this is exact. I can't even say it's complacency or lack of preparation from the coaching staff. It isn't. They obviously knew how they were going to play too, and they still didn't come up with a cohesive plan. And the players seemed to be like pretty scared by the atmosphere and didn't really, weren't playing their natural game. It was just awful. And at that point, before the game, if you'd have offered me a point, I'd probably have taken it, because I think it's quite a tough game for us. We don't play well there. We lost them already. Second half came on. The more it got on, the more this game got stretched, the more we started to look like we should have. And after we scored, they had a couple of little bits and bobs, few moments, but for the most part, second half, we were, especially the last quarter of the game, we were dominant. We had chances, the game got stretched. Suddenly we were in their penalty area a shitload more than we'd been any other time. We were working the chances, the angles, we had some good chances. I think a draw is a pretty fair result given the overall balance of the game. But if people want to say that,
no, I don't agree.
No way.
That's fine. I was just about to say, if you think that different, that's absolutely fine. But in that first half, those first 55, 60 minutes, I don't really think we were creating that much and opening them up. We were in the last 25 minutes, but that's not over the balance of 90, especially on the first half. I don't really think you can say that. We had some good chances. We had some good openings. Jota. It seemed a game tailor-made for Jota, so I was surprised he didn't start, to be honest with you, because when they're playing so compact, when they are quite happy to seed the area around the penalty area, then surely the guy who can just work himself into positions where there is none and be the best finisher is surely the best bet for a tight, compact penalty area. But once he came on, I thought we were looking a lot better. The subs, I think those are the quickest impact subs you'll ever have. The goalkeeper was good. Although I don't like the goalkeeper, they kept saying astonishing saves. I think most of them were good saves, but nothing above that. He's paid a lot of money to do that. So I can't.
Would Alisson have saved them though? That's the question.
Yes.
How many of them would have beat Alisson at the moment?
I think that's a little bit exaggerated too. I think people are getting a little bit antsy about how we're playing, which is fair because our form has dipped, as it was always going to, because we were never going to keep up that form. The first half of the season just wasn't possible. So overall, I'm quite pleased in the end. I think because the game was exactly as I expected. I think we pulled ourselves out of the tailspin in the second half. We finished on top. We looked good. I don't really think it matters what happens between Arsenal and Spurs tomorrow night, because you've always got to just play your own games and look at your own points totals. It's irrelevant what everyone else is doing now. We've got to put stopping and wins on the board again. And that game up against Brentford, who looked frisky tonight against Man City, that's so important now. That's a must win. There's no getting away with a point out of that. I mean, if we're 2-0 down with 20 minutes to go and we get rescue a draw, then you'd sort of go, phew, result. But realistically, that's 3 points and nothing else will do on Saturday. So I'm all right with it. I'm obviously you two feel differently there. We should have won it, and we were the better team. So I'll cede the floor to you two.
Just a quick one on that before I get Brownie in. I've seen on Twitter the shot map for the second half, and it's hilarious. So Forest have got 3 shots. One's the free kick by the corner flag. One's a shot from 25 yards, not central, and the other's from the halfway line. The one that got blocked immediately.
The Marilla one.
Yeah, that's their second half shot map, and ours is just all in the inside right channel. So they're basically all Mo that he's fucking ballooned. But we've had about a dozen at least. So I think the first half we were terrible. Didn't pose any threat. They scored, which is, they didn't pose much of a threat either, but that's how they play. That they're not looking to do that. They're just capitalising on the situations that they do get, which they did. They scored. So they carried out the first half exactly the way they wanted. We didn't. The second half was not what Forest wanted. They weren't playing.
No, it got stretched, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't know why. It was a bit weird because I don't know why. I think they kind of got a bit carried away with the the atmosphere and like the flow of the game, and because I felt like that they were overcommitting.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting them to do that.
I think that's a really good point, actually, that they stopped remembering what they were meant to be doing, and they got caught up in the momentum of the game. Because I said at half time, like, and just to start second half, it's difficult to up the tempo when everyone's in front of you. Like, you can move the ball from side to side, east to west quickly, but really, the old thing, you want to go around the sides and round the back to try and, because like swinging crosses into the box constantly wasn't working. That's what they wanted. And yet somehow I don't know whether it was just the emotion of playing us. We're beating the top of the old days. We're beating the top of the league team at home. The crowd's up for it, and it just sort of like became a pendulum when they don't want a pendulum. They just want like a bookend. And
I felt like that was only for about 10 minutes though. There was a bit of a spell
I think it was,
where it turned into like
until
a
he made the
basketball
subs.
game.
And he was slow this down and bring in some defenders.
Yeah, I mean, I was made up when it turned into that kind of game. I was like, we're going to do you on the break.
I felt a goal coming. I really thought we were going to win it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go on then, Brownie.
I honestly, I thought that the second half in particular, it was a complete fucking mauling that. Like, you look at the stats, so Jules mentioned at the start, like, they don't allow shots inside their own box. We had 14 shots inside the box. We had 52 touches inside their box compared to 17 in ours. 52 is a fucking high number in a Premier League game. That's like when you completely batter the team. That's that kind of number.
Our XG was 2.26.
Yeah.
Oh, 2.24.
There you go. Yeah. And theirs won't have been 1, will it? It'll have been 0.3, 0.4, something like that.
It was 0.4, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I wasn't as down on the first half as a lot of people were. I thought we shit the bed, but in the final third, I thought we absolutely shit the bed. Like, no, like the perfect example of that would be the 2v1 we had when Diaz is running through. That was scandalous. In a game like that, you have to you don't have to because we ended up getting a point out of it, but at that point in the game you're thinking you've got to make those kind of things count. But I wasn't as down on it. I felt if we just keep doing the same thing, we will fucking break them down, and that's what happened. Yeah, there will have been some subtle tweaks tactically second half. He's obviously moved Gravenberch back into centre half and done a few other little things. Like, it felt like Mo in the build-up was going more central and then popping out wide. There was times where Dom was overlapping him, so they've done some tweaks tactically at half time, but generally speaking I thought the pattern of the game was exactly the same as it was in the first half. Just keep doing what you're doing and you will eventually break them down. And some of the fucking chances we missed to win that game, like there was a couple, like they talk about a goalkeeper making a couple of great saves. The one off Jota just literally hit his leg. He had no idea about that one at all. Now, you can say it's great making yourself big because, it's a bigger target, but that can go through your legs just as much as it can hit your leg, you know what I mean? So that one frustrated the life out of me, but no, I'm really positive about it. Obviously, you want to win the game. I probably would have said before the game, I wouldn't have took a draw because I'll never take a draw because our back was to beat anyone. At half time, I'd have took a draw because you go 1-0 down in that game. That's the last thing you want to happen. By the end of it, I'm gutted that we didn't win it. So that just tells you the pattern of it.
I don't know if I would have given it serious consideration at half time as to whether I would have taken it.
Oh no, at half time.
I don't know if I would have, because me and my dad had that conversation, and I said I probably would, but I was thinking no, because all it would take is for us to score, and then that totally changes it. We get the momentum, and as you saw, that's what happened. But the thing for me, like the first half, I had a massive problem with the first half. But it wasn't anything to do with like tactics or how we approached the game or anything like that. I didn't see anything wrong with that. It was purely about individuals for me, just individual performances. Front three, defence looked jittery as well. Let's not overlook that. I never felt secure at the back. I mean, the goal we gave away, it's terrible. Like, why is Virgil 20 yards behind everyone else and then facing the other way, so he's got to turn around to go and close wood? I don't know. It just looked mad to me. There's other things wrong with the goal as well. I'm not just saying it's Virgil, but I didn't have a feeling of like any security whatsoever at the back, even though they were not really attacking. Anytime they got in our half, I did think, oh shit, what's going to happen here? Because we just weren't exuding any sort of authority or confidence. So that was a problem for me. I didn't like how we looked at the back. Going forward, awful. I mean, the 2v1, it was so fucking egregious. That extra touch that he took, it's like, what are you doing? And the worst part about that is you get some games, like if we go back to United away last year, we were getting them every 5 minutes, those overloads, and we kept messing them up. But you knew another one was coming along in a minute. When you're playing Forest and they've constantly got everyone back behind the ball, a chance like that against them is like fucking gold dust. You do not get 2v1s against Forest, especially when they're winning. It doesn't happen. That's not how they play. Somehow, Trent's played like a fucking amazing ball up, and we found ourselves like Gakpo's made a great run as well. And all Diaz has got to do is slide him through, and he takes an extra touch, and then when he plays it, it's cut out. I was fuming at that. It's like, in a game like this, against a team like that, you've got to make that count. But the rest of the half as well, it's like we just weren't really threatening in any way. The keeper didn't have a save to make. They're all going on at the end about how amazing the keeper was. I'm like, he never even had to make a save till about fucking 65 minutes. That's how bad it was. But then, from like the moment we make the substitutions, totally different game. Now, that's probably because as soon as the substitutes come on, we scored. So that changes the game. But I also think you could just see by the impact that Jota had, and also Costas to an extent as well, because we're going to have to talk about Robbo, much as I don't want to. It's a conversation that needs to be had again. But yeah, the substitutions definitely changed the game, not least because we scored immediately, and then goals changed games as well. But we just looked a totally different team with Jota up there. Like Stu made the point before in the chat, he was defending the performance right the way through. I think we were at crossed wires there because we were arguing, and I'm like, I'm not actually arguing with the point you're making here. I'm not saying the approach is wrong. I'm just saying, like, we're shit. We're just playing shit. Like, players are playing shit. And then he makes the point at the end, you can't do any more as a team than put your star player in countless situations to win the game for you. And if he doesn't do it, it's like, well, what can you do as a team? The team has functioned and done the job it's supposed to do, which is get the ball to your star player in good areas for him to do something.
1v1 playing against a lad who's probably out of position as well, because Nico's not a left back. I mean, Jules might know more
Nico's
than me,
Nico's got a lot of attributes, and I liked him when he was here, but he wasn't defensively amazing.
Yeah.
He looked defensively amazing tonight.
I made that comment, like, because he's great for Wales, and I've got a lot of time for him. But I did say, like, if we're making Nico Williams look like a staunch defender, something's going wrong here, because that's not his game. That's not his biggest in his attribute list. That's like third or fourth, not one or two. And he was just like, it was good, like, to be fair to him. But I think that was down to some poor decision making.
I don't think he looked comfortable though. When Mo was running at him, Nico looked very uncomfortable. Yet fucking won the ball every time. It was mad. Made no sense at all. Like he was adopting really weird body positions for me. And Mo was just running straight into him. I was like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
Like time and again he kept doing it. Absolutely terrible he was.
Yeah. And also, Stu wasn't just singling out Mo. He basically said, if you can't win when Diaz and Salah are putting in performances like that. And I do think that's the top and bottom of it in the end. The first half, there was other things I wasn't really happy with. I didn't think other players were at it and that. But the second half, it looked like we built up a head of steam. Everything was going the way it was supposed to go. We're dominating. We're creating loads of chances, getting into like great situations. But Diaz, he was basically invisible second half. Don't remember him doing anything. And everything that Mo did was bad. Other than one shot where the keeper's made a save. It's like everything else was just bad.
I think first half we also need to mention Dom now, because the two big moments that we had in the half, two of the big moments we had in the half, one with the header, which he totally shit out of, by the way. He's just got to score that.
Yeah.
You've got to score that. He looked like he was scared to get his fucking hair messed up or something, the way he approached it. And then the other one on the kind of inside right, when he tried to square it. You've just got to shoot there.
He did it in the second half as well. He got in early in the second half.
Oh my God.
He's trying to square it when, like, it's not on. They've got so many defenders in the box. You know, there's no free men.
He wants to pass the responsibility onto someone else. And I think generally he played well. Thought second half was like legs and everything were fucking brilliant.
He got better
really
the longer
good.
it went on. I would agree with that.
In those
The more
moments,
open
though,
stretch the game got.
You want him to grab this fucking game, don't you, by the balls there and just go, no, I'm the man. But I just don't think he is the man, is he?
I know. I do think like he did get better, in fairness to him. But yeah, when he's in those situations, it's like just fucking drill it in off the far post. And if the keeper gets a save, it gets a hand and pushes it out,
Someone
you've got players coming
rebound.
in. But don't try to square it when there's just defenders between you and the players you're trying to cross it to. It wasn't on, and he did it like twice when he got in those situations. I'd rather him just take the shot. But yeah, he's not really one for taking responsibility. But he did play a big part in the second half. I think a lot of the good things we did came through him. He was involved in a lot of stuff, so you know, I'm not singling him out as being shit or anything, because he wasn't. But yeah, just moments like that, you just want him to be more assertive. What did you think of Maka? Because I thought he was having a fucking stinker, but then again, last 20-25, I thought
when the game became more stretched.
Yeah, he was really good, but prior to that,
he was shit until he wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought he was alright.
Yeah.
I honestly thought he was okay. I didn't see him as a big problem.
He put the legwork in.
6 out of 10, do you know what I mean? He wasn't like a big problem, but he also wasn't having a huge impact positively on the game. But I didn't have a problem with him overall. Thought him and Grav were fine. I'm with Monty on the first half. Like the amount of times we got the ball into our front three in the final third, and it's like, right, go on, you're 1v1 now. And it wasn't just Mo. Like, you haven't mentioned Gakpo. I thought like that right back's really good, to be fair. He's not easy to get past. But again, Gakpo was cutting inside, doing them floaty little balls, and you're like, just no, mate, fucking do something different. You know what I mean? Try and go around the outside.
The space is on the outside, and both wingers just kept running into traffic.
He knew, though, didn't he? Like that, the right back, he's a clever player, and he knows that if you show Gakpo on the outside, which is away from the goal and onto his weak foot, that's what you want to do, don't you? That's why the space was there. So you want more from your full back in terms of overlapping, and then it becomes about timing when you play the pass to him. And we didn't quite get that right either. It was just final third for me, honestly. Generally, first half, I thought it felt like a home game to me, and I know a lot of that comes down to how they set the game up. They're happy to let you have the ball, but sound like that's like every game at Anfield. So again, to go back, I just felt like keep
difference is though they're good at like not having the ball.
They weren't tonight.
Teams come
mate.
to Anfield. Yeah, but teams come to Anfield and don't have the ball.
65 minutes.
I don't think they were. I just think we just fucking shit the bed. I'm telling you now, there was spaces there. Like Diaz was dropping in, and they weren't following him at all. They were just sitting on the edge of the box. And like Jules' point earlier, spot on. In the first 15, 20 minutes, we were taking shots on from 25 yards when you didn't need to. The people who were hitting the shots had 10 yards in front of them. And what you do there is you run into the space to get one of them to come out, and then somebody else makes a deep run and you slide them in, or you think one over the top.
What do you think? Because we mentioned this like straight away in the chat. We were all saying, stop fucking shooting. And a couple of people, I don't know, it might have been you, Jules, because you reeled off that stat that you did about Forest. Had said, like, this looks like it's pre-planned. Like, they've been told, if it opens up for you outside the box, take a shot. Because it's not usual for us. Well, Gakpo will shoot on sight, but Gravenberg taking a shot and McAllister taking one.
I don't mind
like,
mixing
they don't normally do that.
I think mixing it up's fine, but they did it too much, didn't they? In a row kind of thing where it made it look like a plan. Sorry, Jules, go on.
No, I just, you say like that there was space in front of them, and the normal thing to do would be like, well, you carry it forward and bring someone out. Maybe it was under instruction because they looked at the table and go, they won't come out. So if you get space to have a dig, you might as well have a dig because they won't come out to you
Possibly.
anyway.
Could have been something the analyst spotted, yeah, maybe.
Because they just set out to defend the 18-yard box, and they don't care about conceding the ground on the wings or in front of them, because if you float across him, by and large, especially in open play, they're just going to head it away.
There's a difference though, mate. There's a difference between not caring about having the ball and letting the other team have it and trying to nick it and win it, and what happened tonight. I'm telling you, no coach draws up a game like that.
Not the second half.
They don't.
No, I mean, we're talking about the first half here, because the second half was different.
The whole 90 for me, like, what happened in the second half is partly a consequence of what happened in the first half. It just is. The two things are related. They are related.
They beat Everton 2-0 with 31% possession.
Yeah. And what did you say? What was your response to that?
Oh yeah, yeah, because they're both teams, aren't they? They with the lowest possession, and neither of them want the ball. So it'd be like two dogs just growling at each other in a field, like "Rrr, rrr," with like like those tattered old balls, like those leather ones, those cheap ass leather ones that like parts of the hexagons or whatever just tear off, and you can see the fabric underneath, and dogs just go "Rrr" with them. There's just balls in the middle of the field, and these two dogs on each side of the field just looking at the ball and looking at it like, "Rrr, rrr," and it's like, you go for it, no, you go for it. And then what happened is, in the Everton game, at one point, Forrest dashed for the ball, ran past it, grabbed it, ran past the other dog, going, "Rrr," and the other dog was like, oh shit. And it was 2-0 and the game was over because they didn't have possession. I know it is a definite game plan from them. I know, like, we find it hard to believe, but like I've seen a few games of Forest because they're always fucking on at 3 p.m. Like, so whenever I watch a 3 p.m. Saturday game, usually their game's the most interesting because everything else is either like a one-sided Man City home game, although no match this season, or it's like it's Everton. I don't want to be watching them. So I've seen them a few times, and like it is generally by and large they're quite happy to play without the ball and give a lot of ground because they think they can push out and from these positions. It's a weird, it's working for them. So why change it? I suppose
that's why like I can't give us extra credit for dominating the ball in the first half. It's like they're sitting there going, yeah, you have it. We don't want it. You can have the ball as long as you're not getting shots in.
Approach, honestly,
yeah, but that's
you're just hoping
though.
the other team shits the bed.
It's not our business.
You know what I mean?
They can do what they want.
They can't. Just to be very clear, I'm not having a go with them for doing it. I get it. I understand that that's their approach, but there's a difference. There's a difference between saying we don't mind you having the ball and letting the team get to the edge of the box. Those two things are completely different. Because a lot of the time you're happy for the opposition centre half to just be playing the ball side to side. That wasn't what was happening. We were getting to the edge of their box over and over and over
what was
again.
Happening? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly, but it wasn't going to carry on.
Yeah, but
that was not going to happen.
At
half time, I said, keep doing what we're doing, and the game will change. And it fucking did. That end of story.
Well, it did when we made the subs and we finally did something from the set piece.
I thought from the moment
I was just going to say, we scored off a set piece with two players. With one of them, I don't think they realised was in the box.
Has that ever happened before, by the way?
Not that
I can ever remember. One gets an assist and the other gets a goal.
I feel like it happened to us a lot in the 90s. A player would come on at a corner and we wouldn't mark them because we'd forget they were there.
The double whammy though with like the assist.
The double header, yeah, that's probably not.
Subs, I mean, that's got to be like the best double substitution of all time.
Just a little detour there. I can't be doing with like any of Liverpool's 90s players talking about application and effort. When it comes, it's Fowler on the weekend, and then you go McManaman tonight. Like, I'm not really interested in anything you've got to say on those subjects. Like, McManaman, to be fair, was one of our better players and did try a bit harder for the most part. But, like, still, I don't want to hear it. McManaman's giddy every time someone plays well against Liverpool. Do you know what? It's my own fault.
Fucking time of his life tonight when we were getting beat.
It's
joking about stupid stuff and laughing his head off.
I had access to other channels I could have watched it on, and I couldn't be asked to change the channel, so that's on me because I could have just watched the international feed and I wouldn't have had him on. So that's on me.
Tonight.
Yeah, in the build-up as well, he had him on talking about contracts and how sometimes players like a new challenge and all this kind of stuff. Fuck off, you. Get to fuck.
All right, do you want to talk about their goal? Because I am looking at Alisson and thinking you don't normally get beat by shots like that. It doesn't look like he could save it. You don't look at that and go, goalie should save it. But it's Alisson. I expect him to not get beat by shots like that because he normally doesn't.
I think it's a good finish.
It is a good finish.
Right, and it's the post and goes in. Like they generally are the you're not saving
that,
He's not blasted it though. It's like I don't know. It's a bit of a Michael Owen in the cup final against Arsenal type finish.
No, that went over Seaman's hand. Like Ali got nowhere near that. That's not the same.
What I mean is, it's like it's on his weak foot. He's not blasted it.
Why do you hate Ali, Dave?
I don't. It's just he's concerning me. It's like every shot against us is fucking going in at the moment.
It's just a spell.
I think that's like 7 out of the last 11 or 8 out of the last 12 or something. Shots he's faced.
What was that? I thought was it United? He had that 1-on-1 he saved. He had a great save. Well, he's still making saves.
Well, hang on. What were the goals?
That would be like that would account for the other 3 or 4 that didn't go in.
Well, what were the goals? I can't even remember United's goals. What were they?
I remember us saying...
I mean, you don't even know who we played tonight, so I don't know why I'm
the
asking
Martinez one, which goes in off the bar, but
that was a good finish.
It goes over him. I'm like,
No. I mean, again, like, you know when something hits the frame of the goal and goes in from an extreme angle, sometimes your goalkeeper's not saving those because
almost every
it's technically not on target.
Look, all I'm saying on that one is like, 99.9% of goalkeepers are not saving that. Alisson is not in that 99.9%.
The Ahmad one, possibly.
And the Ahmad one, I definitely thought he should have done better on that, or could have done better.
I didn't at the time.
Could have done better.
I didn't at the time.
It's a fucking P-roller that goes in the middle of the goal.
I know, but when you're a goalie and you're guarding your near post, and then the ball comes across and you're having to run across your goal, like, they're not easy to get down when you're on the move.
Look, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying here. I'm not saying these are goalkeeping errors, and it's like, oh, I'm looking at my goalkeeper there. I'm just judging Alisson by Alisson's standards, and I would look at that and go, I'm not sure.
I think he's a bit rusty after his injury.
That's what I'm saying. And like,
I'm coming back to what everybody said when I said keep an eye on Robbo, and I'm going with that one.
When he fell over on that high ball tonight, and I actually just sad watching it at the moment. It's upsetting.
You know what he's like? He's like an aging quarterback. You know, when like they can't move anymore.
Are we talking about Robbo here? Or Ali?
And the ball... No, and the ball doesn't have the same zip when they throw it anymore. Like the pass, suddenly there's like a lot of wounded ducks flying around rather than like,
I'm a Bears fan. Wounded ducks are all we ever get. You know, I can't relate to this.
It must be because close proximity to Lake Michigan. It strikes me a bit like that. You know, like when it starts to go for like these quarterbacks. They're great, and then suddenly they're not, and it's really noticeable because of the position. Now, obviously, it's not a fairly accurate comparison because it's a left back in football, but things that were easy are no longer easy, and that's where the concern is, isn't it? Not like he's making mistakes; it's that the easy stuff is now looking difficult for him. It is really sad. He's been a great player. Whether he'd ever be content with being the squad player rather than the number one. But that looks like, on the balance of the evidence we're seeing this season, that looks like where his future lies.
It's trending in that direction, isn't it?
Yeah.
I need to see it back, but I've seen people saying he was sat sulking when the goal went in, didn't celebrate the goal. I didn't see him because I was looking at Canate. Canate was like, look at the face like thunder, and the goal goes in, and for a split second he's still got a face like thunder, and then it's like, oh, he scored, so he starts clapping. But I didn't see what Robbo did, but I've seen people saying he was sat there like sulking, didn't celebrate the goal, which is,
I don't have a big problem with
not like Robbo. That's not.
I know, but like you've just been hooked.
Literally. I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's not like him.
It?
It's what about, where's his mind at? Like, is he worrying himself about this, or is he just thinking, I've just not had a great game, or I don't know. As I say, I was just sad watching it tonight because he just wasn't at it.
Are we past the something to keep an eye on, and he's in decline kind of moment, or do we not even want to say?
The only question is how much in decline is he? Because he clearly is in decline. It's like how fast is the decline going to be?
You almost don't want to accept it, do you? Though?
No, I don't want to accept it. I love him. He would be top 5 favourite players of all time for me. I fucking love him. But
well, the analogy for me is he's like a pound for pound fucking boxer. You know what I mean? He's beaten everybody, but he's had one too many wars. He's still a top 10 fighter. You could still put him in there, and he might nick a title. But he's starting to be that fighter where the young up and coming ones, you put him in there against
tonight,
him, you know what I mean?
He looked like Mike Tyson against Jake Paul.
Oh no, come on, that's going too far. You thought he'd win, didn't you?
I did. I thought Tyson would win. I got totally hoodwinked by the whole thing. And I fucking hate myself for even watching it.
I can't believe that.
And I was watching it and I'm like,
all the shit you give me about the boxing and you stayed up and watched
feet aren't moving. He's just planted and like he's so slow, and I was like,
he's about 70, Dave.
I know, but he's still Mike Tyson. You still think
it doesn't matter.
No, I did. I got absolutely hoodwinked massively there. I'd convinced myself he was going to win. Yeah. But I'll never watch a Jake Paul fight again. I said that after the fucking Tommy Fury one, but it was only because it was Mike Tyson. It drew me in. But no, I'll never make that mistake again. Right, so...
What do you think about the goal, though? I know you've mentioned Ali. Like, you said Verge earlier, and I've not watched it back a lot, but what the fuck was Ibu doing? Like,
the header.
He gets drawn in for the header, but then he makes no attempt to come back. He almost looks like he's trying to play offside, and the rest of them all drop in, and then you're like, Ibu, what are you doing, lad? You need to fucking get back in here.
Yeah, he looks rusty.
Bizarre.
He did. There's quotes from him today where he said he rushed back for the United game because it was such a big game and because he knew Gomez was injured. And he said, like, I rushed back. And I think you didn't rush back. That you're taking like that on yourself, but you didn't. You got yourself fit as quick as you could. You had one training session and Slot put you straight back in the team.
Yeah.
So I'm absolving Konate from that completely. He's just tried to get himself fit. He doesn't pick the team. So he's been brought back in and he's not looked sharp. Like there was the Tottenham goal. He didn't look sharp against United. I thought he did all right against United, and then the longer it went, you could see the rustiness was starting to catch up with him. And then, you know, that I don't know what he was doing. Like, it was a header to nobody. To be honest, I didn't watch what he did after that. I was looking at other aspects of the goal, so I don't know. But, like, I'm looking at Virgil, and if he steps out, like, Chris Wood's made a run, and if Virgil, there's time for him to step out. If he steps out like 5 yards, he's offside, yeah. But not just that, like, he's actually... His back is facing Chris Wood as the through ball comes through, so then he has to turn around, which slows him down a bit more. So, like, if you know that Chris Wood's there, why there's no other runners, so he's not having to face the middle because there's other runners he's got to cover. It's just Chris Wood, so why would you not be facing him instead of having your back to him?
It just looked weird. As a centre half, it should be open to the attacker.
Yeah,
it was closed, wasn't it?
Chest pointing at the attacker.
Literally the wrong way, meaning you've then got to spin, and it gives him a chance to get a shot.
He may not have got there anyway, but that definitely slowed him down and stopped him from getting back. And it just looks odd when you watch it. You're like, what's he actually doing?
That's probably why he's not played the offside, though. If he's got his body the other way, he's kind of not really sure where Wood is properly because he's facing the wrong way.
Yeah, but the offside part would have been like a second or two before that. As soon as their player gets the ball, he knows where Chris Wood is. He could have stepped out there. It just looked wrong. All of it just looked like, what are we doing here? That's just bad. And then, as I say, I'm not putting it on Alisson's shoulders by any means. Same with the United goals, not putting them on his shoulders. I'm just saying I hold him to like a high standard, and I would think, could he have done better with those? Not even saying that he definitely can, but it's in my mind because it's Alisson, and I'm not used to seeing him letting in goals of that nature. So, yeah. But that was pretty much the only thing they did all game. Did they have any other real chances?
What did Ali have to do in the game?
That's what I mean. He faced one shot. Well, he had the free kick which he saved from the weird angle.
That was regulation.
Yeah, you'd expect him to save that. That's any keeper's going to keep that out. But he didn't really have to do anything else. I don't think they had any other shots on goal, did they?
No. Well, they had 3 according to the stats. I don't remember anything else that he had to do other than the goal and that free kick.
No, me either. Can't remember the other one. So let's talk about our goal. So Jota said when he was talking to Costas on the bench, and like he mentioned like Costas set up a goal for him like previously. It was in the FA Cup game. I think it was. He scored against Forest in the Cup, didn't he, 2 years ago?
No one's remembering that.
I mean,
he played Forest in the Cup.
Yeah, you've
no idea.
Yeah, this is bad. This is like being on with Paul.
Come on.
No, I remember him scoring a header, I think, or stretching for a volley, and it was a cross from the right, but it was an in-swinger. So I think it was Costas set up a goal for him at Forest, and as they were coming on, he said that to him. He was like, right, we've got this corner. You can just set me up for a goal again. And he fucking did. And like for a split second, I'm like, oh, are they gonna say Gakpo's impeding the keeper or something? But he doesn't do anything other than just stand there. It's like he doesn't
really move, does he?
It's good from Gakpo. Like he makes sure he doesn't move into him, where you could say he's impeded him. He just sort of stood there and made sure the keeper couldn't get over him to get the ball. So about time we did something from a corner, because the corners prior to that, hopeless. Just all season, No,
We
is that the
stopped
first
doing
goal
that.
we've scored in the league from a corner?
No one's going to be able to answer that.
I think
but
it is.
We've
I'm going to go out
stopped
on a
doing
limb and
that,
say it is.
emulating that Arsenal thing of everyone going to the back post and running in that we've been doing
Yeah.
the last few
Shite.
games. Because, well, it's all well and good emulating the pattern, but like there's more to it than just everyone running, rushing forward like it's a fucking, well, I don't know, but everyone just rushing forward in one motion. There's obviously every player knows what they're doing on those
Yeah.
set pieces. That's why Arsenal build their entire style around it. It's not just a
That's
case
dried
of
up
going,
for
well,
them
they
as
do
well,
this.
hasn't it? It's not happening
Yeah.
anymore.
Don't jinx it. They're playing Spurs tomorrow, aren't they?
Listen, Spurs are so open. Like, if Arsenal fail to beat them tomorrow night, then I think that's probably...
Well, we didn't last
No.
week.
Yeah, well, the thing is, at the moment, we're in a bit of a dip, aren't we? There's, again, as I said at the start, a dip that was always going to come. It was never going to stay. We were never going to sustain that form because it just wasn't possible. Whether Spurs will be... Is it Arsenal or is it Spurs tomorrow?
It's at Arsenal.
It's at Arsenal, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they'll win that.
I thought
It's
it was
not-
at Spurs until tonight, and then I seen that. I was like, oh, shit. I thought
Yeah,
Spurs
they'll
were at
win.
home.
Because the best thing you can do to Arsenal at home is frustrate them and get the crowd wound
Yeah.
up. But Spurs aren't capable of frustrating, I don't think so.
No, but if they are capable of scoring,
Yeah.
and
Well,
my mate Richarlison's back in the squad tomorrow as well, so, maybe
didn't know
he'll
he
do
was still
something.
there.
But,
Has he been injured or something?
yeah, he's been out for ages, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he'd left.
Yeah, so if the way Arsenal's mentality is at the moment, I mean, Arsenal fan TV this week's just been fucking
Jesus is out
epic.
for ages, isn't he now?
Yeah, he's done his ACL, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way the Arsenal fans have completely turned this week, it's like proper toxic. Like they'll be up for it because it's Spurs, but if they get off to a bad start, that
They'll
could
be
that
2-0
could
up
turn
at
nasty.
half-time and
They probably will.
pray for Spurs.
Yeah, they probably will. But I'm just saying,
Flip-flopping cunts.
if Spurs do get ahead against them, I think like it could turn pretty nasty.
Do you know what? I reckon I know why it's turned so quickly as well. Because, first of all, there's the mental scarring of coming close and not winning, which
Yeah.
we know all about. But what it really is that modern Arsenal likes to think they're the fanciest bastards around, that they play the silkiest, best football. And they've sort of succumbed to not playing that. They were all right, like the first year they had a title challenge, weren't they? They were playing some decent
Yeah,
stuff.
they were really good.
And they've succumbed to now all of the worst things about modern football, which is the dark art, the time wasting, the gamesmanship, and then they're not even playing that much for free flowing football anymore. They've become a set piece team, and I reckon they probably don't like the jibes about being like a Sam Allardyce team.
No, the
And
jibe
then-
that really will hurt them is
Go
the
on.
Stoke stuff, because they had
Yeah.
that rivalry with
Yeah,
Stoke.
they
didn't
did, yeah.
Arsenal were all like fucking Lord Snooty whenever they played against Stoke, like
Yeah.
looking down the noses on them. Like, and he's saying like Stoke were just fucking A-Louse and they were dirty and all that. There was like a proper like rivalry going on, and now people are saying you're just like Stoke. It's like the worst thing you could say to them.
And
They've been doing the opposite though, haven't they? They've been singing like fucking set piece again when they score
yeah,
off
but
corner.
the only thing is, it's all fine when you're winning and it looks
Yeah.
like it's leading you somewhere. But now, out of nowhere, we've like accelerated past them again. They're sort of flailing around. They're not playing good football. They're thinking, fucking hell, we're going to lose out to someone who wasn't even close last year. Oh, well, by the end, we weren't close. And I just don't think they can handle it. I don't think they can handle it. They could handle playing that style if it was going to lead to a league title. But now it might not lead to a league title. And they're playing bad football. And they get in called Stoke, which, as Dave says, they just, it's the worst thing you can call them apart from Spurs. I think it's just sent them all in a massive like doom spiral they can't pull out of, and that's why it's gone so toxic.
Oh, if Spurs beat them tomorrow, I'll be watching Arsenal fan TV for the rest of the week. I've already
That'll be
wasted
so
enough
tough.
time this week watching it. If they lose tomorrow,
Bosses have being able
I'm
to
spending
watch
the
that
whole of the next. I know, I haven't watched it for 3 years,
Been for
and I
2 years,
fucking binged it this week.
It's like I
lose
bought
to-
back a new show.
I've
innit?
even got
You
my
know what I
dad
mean?
into it. My dad said he watched
Love
like
it.
7 videos the other night after I put him onto it.
If they lose to Spurs tomorrow night, it'll be so toxic on there. It'll be like the fella who falls in the acid at the end of RoboCop and then the car drives through him and it just fucking blows up. That'll be how toxic it'll be. They won't be able to handle that.
Love that content,
Oh,
by the way.
fingers
The good
crossed.
thing about our dip, though, go back to what you said before, Joe, is it's coincided with them having a dip, and we've all said,
Yeah.
haven't we,
Chelsea
like,
as well.
There's
they're
no
the
Man
ones to look
City.
out for.
There's
Yeah.
no Man City to romp away
Exactly.
into the sunset, which
That's
is
the
why
beauty of building up the lead that we had, though. Like, we even said ourselves a few weeks ago that we've given ourselves the almost the opportunity to drop points and get away with it, because when you build up a big lead and it's a normal season like it is now, you know that everybody else is going to drop points as well.
Yeah.
Tonight's just a perfect example.
Yeah, it is.
We want to win the game, but you look at Chelsea and Arsenal and you're like...
Even City drew tonight as well. Blew a 2-0 lead and drew.
We had a much harder situation than they did, so we haven't lost any ground, so happy days. And also, the games haven't been easy when you look at them on paper. Like, United will never be an easy game, it just won't, and they look like they're picking up a little bit. So, you know, that's not a terrible point. Newcastle away, in the context of their form, not a terrible point. Fulham at home, down to 10 men, not a bad point. Nottingham Forest tonight, not a bad point. So that, just in the context of everything, I think it's all right.
that Newcastle game only sticks in the craw for me because it was a self-inflicted.
Yeah, right at the end
the
as
final
well,
goal.
when really
Yeah,
you've
just
done all
an
right
absolute
to win the game.
We
just have to watch out for these draws, don't we? Because with it being back
Yeah,
to
you
a
can have
normal
one or
season,
two, but you
draws
can't
do
have
kill
5
you.
or 6.
Yes.
That's all true, but you can when the teams around you are also doing it, which is the way it's been.
I know, but you have that little frustration then, don't you? That I'm going to turn two of them
what
into
Brownie
wins,
means
then
is
you're done. It's finished.
They're all right until you turn around and suddenly someone's right on you because you've been going, this is all right, and you go, oh shit, no, actually they're right behind us now.
And
this
it does
right.
creep up on you without you realising.
They're,
Like,
they're
really
all
does.
right in isolation, but there's too many of them
Grouped
in a
together,
short space of time, and it's like, okay, now we've just got to win a few just to get that, get normality back.
I think I think the general performance tonight's positive, though, in that sense, that we've gone away to a team where everybody's been fucking hyping them up all week. They've been getting ahead of themselves. By the way, their fans fucking gobshites. Like, when they do eventually implode and fucking revert to par and they're fucking clinging on and possibly getting relegated, I'm going to be fucking cracking a beer open and enjoying watching that when that's happening. They can get to fuck absolute knobheads. Like, who did he think they are? The fucking shit they're singing to us.
Giving Slot loads of shit?
They were singing
Because-
like in your head, weren't they? And like, he doesn't
Because-
all right, he kept going on about that first game, didn't he? That's why.
Yeah,
'Cause they
that's
beat us
why.
at Anfield, that's it. Like, but to start singing about it, like, and making it into this big thing, no, that's you making it into that. He's not like you actually singing about it. He's in your head, not the other way around. Stupid fucking scab cunts. Fuck off.
Doesn't matter. I don't get this. Like,
47 minutes it took before Brownie unleashed that one. I thought it would be in the first 5.
Honestly, fuck off.
I don't get this though. Are they not? I'd like does it matter what? Like, it wasn't. So I wasn't there tonight, but I didn't hear anything on the telly. At least there was no like. They seem to have stopped the like. To my ears, they seem to have stopped the nasty chants that they were doing a couple of years ago, when some of their own fans pulled them on it.
Yeah, that does seem to have. Yeah, that does seem to
true.
have gone.
So, like,
And that is because a section of their own fans are like, look, this needs to fucking stop.
So, like, do I care if they want to make fun of it seemed fairly innocuous stuff to me, like,
it was baffling to me. I wasn't like pissed off by it. I'm like, what the fuck are you on about?
Also,
I don't
like,
really get it.
They obviously, I mean, it's easy to say, but they obviously still dine out on those 2 European Cups.
Which you would do, in fairness to them.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
And they view themselves through that prism. They've had a rough time, but they view themselves through that prism. They still think, because like they were a provincial team before, and they reverted back to being a provincial team. Not long after that. That's who they are. They're not a superpower, but in their heads, they doubled European champions. It was a fairy tale story at the time, and that's always how they're going to view themselves. So they view. Teams sometimes always view themselves bigger than other people view themselves.
Listen to you defending your hometown boys. If I start slagging off Middlesbrough, you're going to come at me, Brownie?
Absolutely not.
Do you know what? Here's the thing. It's not about Forest in this occasion. It's just about football fans. Everyone's so hypocritical. Like, they get dead offended about like everything. Like, you can't sing this, you can't sing that. And like, all I want is like no poverty chanting, no fucking tragedy chanting. And after that, like, you know,
but what, they
I
haven't
don't.
fucking achieved anything, Jules, to sing.
No shit Andy Carroll chant.
We're coming for
No,
you.
do you know what,
Then
Dave?
fuck
You're right.
off. If you win the league, you sing what you want and fair fucking play. And if you want to sing about your European Cups you won years ago, again, that's something you achieved. Fair fucking play. Enjoy yourselves. You're fucking having a great time. Don't be worrying about us. Don't be worrying about anybody else.
But
Enjoy
they might. I
yourself,
don't
sing
get
about
this.
your
Like
own
they
team.
might think
Get to fuck.
We don't think it's funny, but like they might think it's like this is fucking hilarious. Look, as we're taking the piss out of him.
It's banter, merchant, knobhead.
Chanting
every
Arne Slot as a wanker. I'm like, what's he actually done? Where's that coming from?
Every football fan is like this. Like
No,
I
they're
don't
not.
get.
That's the thing. They're not.
I
We
just
don't
think
do
there's
that.
something I must be missing. Like, where's that come from? What's the big fucking beef with Slot?
It's because he was like.
He's been
he's
nothing
like-
but complimentary to them.
He actually
He's
said-
gone over the top.
He
and
actually
fucking
said
praising them.
that result, which I thought was bad, is obviously not, because look where they are on the table.
Yeah, but he thought
it's not
was
as bad as I
bad.
thought. Which was fair
Everybody
enough,
thought
because they've
it
been
was
fighting
bad.
relegation
It's
every
like
fucking year.
Everybody thought it was bad.
There we go. I just like they've chanted much worse stuff over the last couple of years, which just
No, that's
absolutely
fair.
appalled
That,
me.
100%.
And
that's fair.
I couldn't be having it, and they could all fuck off for it. I was like really disappointed with some of the shit they were chanting. Can't be asked with like, you know, the sort of like the tropes of like, well, the tropes of like Liverpool being full of benefit scroungers who are unemployed is 40 years out of date and should stay 40 years out of date.
Tell
But
that
then
to
I
Robbie
forgot.
Fowler.
I know, I was about to say, but then Robbie Fowler's bringing it out of fucking mothballs on live national TV.
Why? What did he say? What the fuck have I missed there?
Oh, he was having a go at Nunez, and Karen Carney said, have they asked you to come in and work with him? And he said, no, I'm one of them unemployed scousers.
Oh, fucking hell. Really? Oh,
And he was quite pleased with himself there as well. He thought he was
I
being
remember
funny.
Danny Murphy said something similar once, and I was like... just
And then
get
did he
the
go,
fuck-
yeah, and do a stupid fucking laugh afterwards.
What, like Boise?
Yeah, Danny Murphy's just got that, like...
Marlene?
He does listen to him. He does like a little Boise laugh whenever he thinks he said something funny.
All right, Del Boy, I've got a lovely scouter in the shower room for you. Fucking hell. No, look, I mean, I don't like Forest fans. I don't particularly like people in East Midlands. They're too focused on England. They think they're far more important than they actually are. But I just think tonight they were just... They seem to me like a bunch of fans who are like, we're fucking third in the league and we're going to make sure we enjoy it. It didn't bother me in
They
the
weren't.
slightest.
I would just say the
no.
exact opposite.
From our interpretation, like Liverpool, we always like we sing about ourselves. We don't sing about anybody else. Like that's how we do it, and that's how I'm absolutely fine with that. I prefer it that way. But the majority of other football fans are not like that, and this is how
Majority
they
of other
enjoy it.
football fans are bad knobheads as well.
That's what I
would
said
say.
earlier. I said like I can't be doing with football fans in general anymore. Everyone gets offended when they sing something, yet they're hypocritical. They do it themselves all the fucking
just
time.
to be clear, I'm not offended. Nothing they did offended me. That's not what I'm saying. I just think
That's just the word I'm using because it's late.
Yeah.
And I can't. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying you're offended. What
I
I'm
have an
saying
opinion
is like
on it, like, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not offended by it. You can say what you want as long as it's not that other shit that they have cleaned up. And fair play to them for that.
And they are, and I think at Anfield it's really hard to hear the away fans at Anfield these days. But I didn't hear nothing earlier in the season anyway. Like so.
No,
and like
that's definitely a step in the right direction. There's no doubt about that.
And again, you know,
I don't know about tonight, but before the games at Anfield, I've seen stuff like their fans have been putting stuff on Twitter, like a reminder not to be doing this. So like they have been putting the word around before they come to Anfield. I don't know if they did anything tonight. I didn't see it. They probably didn't feel a need because they knew everyone was going to be like well up for it because it was, you know, it was a big game for them and that. So they can get behind their own team rather than resort to that because they've got fuck all else going on.
the other thing is they've been in the lower leagues for so long. You know, they dropped as far as the third tier at one point, I think. They're infused with like lower league chants, which are always really shit. I don't know why lower league chants are so shit, but they are shit. They're like proper identikit, boring, like, you know, going when the keeper kicks the ball and stuff. They are infused with that as well. So they do have like, you know, same old Scousers always cheating and stuff like that. You're like,
just lame shit, innit?
it is very lame.
But the thing is, when you're losing 1-0 to a team and you're hearing all this shit, it just makes you know what I mean? So I have that to fall back on, where they were proper winding me up, and then there
You're
was
basically
shit going
using
on.
Slot's defence.
No, like, to be fair to him though, like, he was getting frustrated, and he said after the game, didn't he? None of that had like an impact on the result, but you know, we're humans, aren't we? We're all emotional when the game's on. Like, I was in the doghouse in the house because did you see that in the first half where Diaz got took out?
God.
Oh my God! I nearly fucking threw something at the telly.
He ran
like,
10 yards in the opposite direction to where the
just
ball
to
was,
fucking
just
wipe
to
him
barge
out.
him. I know.
And the referee's like, "No, that's sound, yeah."
And you know
okay.
what? That's the only issue I've got with the referee tonight was
Unbelievable.
that one because he let everything go. He was like, "No, just get on with it, play on," and it was the
way
same
too
for
far
both
though,
teams.
wasn't it?
But that one was fucking incredible. It was genuinely just staggering that he didn't give a free kick for that. The guy looked, the ball was going one way, and he looked around and he's like, "Where's Diaz?" And he just fucking charged off in the opposite direction and just rammed him.
I was sat there honestly thinking, I'm doing really well here. I'm on my best behaviour because I get told, you need to calm down when the game's on and that. And okay, fine, I will. I'm sitting there in my head going, you're doing really well here. And nice one, patting myself on the back. Then that happens, I jump up and I'm like, we're fucking well, like that. And then I'm in trouble. I'm like, fucking hell, what am I supposed to do when you see that?
It was unbelievable.
Sounds fun watching the game in your house, having to fucking do your best behaviour.
You know that picture of Roy Hodgson and Sammy Lake? that funny moment. That was me when that happened. Telling you, fucking hell.
I'm guessing no one here thinks that the penalty was a penalty.
The Mo one. I think you said 60-40 pen, didn't you, Dave?
I think so. I'm not up in arms about not getting it, but when I watch the replay of it, I can see why the referee at the time doesn't give that. And if he doesn't give it, VAR's not getting involved on that. So I've got no issue with that. But from watching the replay, they've sandwiched him, they've not got the ball, and one of them puts his leg right across Mo. Why does Mo hit the deck? It wasn't because Mo chose to just go down. There was nothing he could do there other than
I think that's one of them
he
crafty
did get
fouls
taken down
by a defender where they know that, technically it's a foul.
I think technically it's a penalty.
Never gets given. Never gets given.
If it gets given, it doesn't get overturned, and if it doesn't get given, they're not getting involved. So I haven't got a massive problem with it, but I do think it was probably just about a penalty for me.
What did you think, Jules?
My take was, at the time, I thought, in real time, I thought it looked like a penalty, but then seeing the replay back, my first take was, I thought that's a penalty. My second take was, but unless that's really clear in this game, the way the referees refed it, the VAR is not going to go and overturn it because clearly there's a line the referee wants to keep, and it's been kept for most of the game. And then seeing it back, I was like, there's no way there's enough in that to be. Yeah. I'm not even sure it was a penalty. I think it's just a coming together. It's a contact sport. Maybe if the referee had given it, I don't know if it had been overturned. If the referee had given it.
It wouldn't have been because there's contact.
So.
But he's not got the ball. There's contact on the player. But you're right in the sense that he's refereed the game in a certain way all night. Yeah. That would have been very soft in comparison with how he's refereed the game because he was just allowing a lot of physical contact.
You'd have undermined how he'd ref the game.
There was another example though. I was going to say the worst decision involving Mo wasn't that. There was one in the first half where we switched to play. And he leaned slightly on fucking Nico while the ball's in the air, and he gave that one. And I was thinking, fucking hell, every time Mo gets the ball, he's got two hands wrapped around him, and you're letting that go. And then the moment he touches the fullback, you blow. That one wound me up as well.
See, I didn't actually see that. I heard their crowd baying for something, and he blew the whistle and he cheered. And then I didn't see a replay of it, and so I didn't really get onto what had happened there. I seen Mo was pissed off.
The ball's in the air, and the attacker and defender are both jostling to be in, the right position to bring the ball down, and Mo just leans on them a little bit, and he gives a foul. And you're thinking that's not in keeping with how you've been refereeing the game.
I think they've got referees have got a preconceived notion in their heads about Mo, and
100%.
They don't give fouls when he's being held. And when he does it, they think he's backing in or he's holding someone off. And he probably concedes more than he gets.
That's what makes it worse, though.
But I do think it's a preconceived notion that they've got before they go on the pitch. I think referees have probably spoken about it. They're wrong. I'm not saying there's any justification for it. But it's every referee. It's not just there's a certain refs who do it. It's every game he plays. You just get frustrated about
he's got a
what's
reputation, hasn't he, which has come from somewhere, and that clearly emanates across all of them, like you say. And It's almost like they go into a game with a narrative in the head, and then they just referee the game based on that narrative rather than what actually fucking happens. Really frustrating.
So bad tonight, though.
Oh, Mo, fucking hell. Awful.
His shoot on sight
Absolutely
policy
awful.
was not good tonight, was it?
And
Even the
that's,
one where the
ball,
goalie saved it and they were creaming the kecks about the save, it was right down the middle.
yeah,
though,
he
wasn't
didn't
in the
get, he
corner.
didn't
It's
set
not
it
a
out
big-
far enough.
Yeah.
But the one that he put 20 yards over the bar, I saw that coming a mile off. As soon as he was running onto that ball, he just knew where it was going. Like, he does that so often. It's like...
I thought he was lucky to stay on the pitch, honestly. Like, I'd have hooked him and give Chiesa the run out by the end.
No, that game was too physical for Chiesa.
Yeah, but we were so honestly.
Which Chiesa, though?
I don't know what you mean by that.
That leads us on lovely. I was going to tee it up in a different way, but go on, you can go with that.
No, this has got to be brought up, especially because Stu's not on to defend himself. Not that there is any defence whatsoever. There's nothing he can say.
He took it well, is all I'll say.
He's had... So we had,
Had
like...
no choice, really, did he?
For the listeners, we had like the most epic day in the chat of all time yesterday. It was fucking legendary what happened.
Best
So
day
Stu, Mr. Stats, he always throws his little stats and his things from like FB reference in the chat when he's making a point. He's always doing all that. And he's always defending Chiesa. A few people were like being critical of the lack of impact he's made and stuff like that. Stu starts throwing out these career stats about how many goals and how many goal involvements he's had, and he's like, you know, his numbers are really respectable throughout his career and this. So he puts these numbers out, and a couple of the lads, I think you were one of them, Brownie,
Yeah.
Paul as well, I think, and RL were like, where are you getting these numbers from? I've got this. So like, they're throwing these other numbers at him up for like goal tallies and stuff. And Stu's getting all fucking high and mighty, isn't he? And he's like, what did he say? He said, listen, if you're going to be like ripping into me for using data, then if you come at me, don't be using shit data of your own to come at me. And then like he said something like, you know, Paul says that he works with troubled kids, but what the hell am I having to do here? And he's like really just being like a fucking smug bastard about it. And I'm looking through, and then I see like Brownie just demanding, Monty, show your workings out, because we've all got something different. The next post I see is like deleted by Stu. And I'm like, wonder what that was. And then underneath, Brownie goes, those are his dad's stats. So Monty's gone on like FB ref looking for Kie's stats, and he's pulled up his dad's stats and he's fucking throwing them at us to prove his point in the chat. It was amazing. Of all the people to get for that to happen to, it was just the greatest. And you're saying he took it well, but he realised what he'd done and he deleted his post hoping nobody had seen it. But you were onto it straight away. If you hadn't have seen that, he would have got away with it.
I know, yeah. Fucking good job, innit? What I mean by that, though, is he ripped himself, you know what I mean? Not knowing Stu the way we do, he could have fucking doubled down.
Short of quitting the chat, what else could he have done but own it?
No. I'm trying to be nice, mate. Come on. Oh, fucking hell. That was the
You
best
say,
half
hang
an
on,
hour
you
of
say
my life, by the way.
if he'd have deleted it, he'd have got away with it. But he wouldn't have, because at some point someone would have gone, well, these stats don't add up.
He
so
would have
where'd
just
you get
changed the subject and like hoped that people would forget about it.
I feel like someone possibly Brownie, but maybe Al would have just like compared those stats elsewhere and come across the fact that he was looking at his dad's stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Maybe
probably
in the
would have done
end.
some more digging. Like, fucking hell. It was so good, though. That it's so good. I loved you though, Jules, when you were like 200 fucking messages. What's going on here? I bet you thought like contracts are signed and all kinds. And I was like, no, it's better than that.
Yeah, I was. I picked my phone up and I had 200 messages and I was like, what the fuck? And I thought, before I go in, let me just go on social media and see if we signed anybody or something. I can't see anything. And I'm like, right, okay. I'm like, why are there 200 messages? It's been the best day ever. Why? Stu's fucked up. Oh, I'm not reading back through all that. I'm not reading back through all that. And then
I've
again,
read
to
back
be
through
fair,
it 4 times.
again, to be fair to Stu, he did sum up his fuck up and what he'd done. So he did sum it up himself. And then Brown is like, it's much better than he's just said. And then Dave Dave screenshotted the best bits to show me because again I'm not scrolling through 200 fucking messages.
Brownie goes, I'm just so happy. And then he went, is this what heroin feels like?
Honestly. Oh, fucking hell. It was the best half an hour ever. I'm telling you.
It was.
Better than Istanbul.
Incredible.
Fucking unreal.
It was just the smugness of him though when he's... he went, you said, where are you getting your info from? And he goes, go on FB ref, you bunch of derps.
Oh, fucking hell. I'm crying now. Yeah. Anyway, when are we going to get him back on?
Yeah, he's got it. Well, he can't even come on and defend himself. He did say, he said, no doubt you're going to embellish this and like make it worse than it was. And he said, so I'm thinking about just coming on the pod and just straight up lying and saying it didn't happen. So if he comes on and denies it, you be forewarned about it. But no one's embellishing anything. This is exactly what happened. It was just amazing. Chiesa's dad, he's throwing Chiesa's dad's stats at us. Sensational.
You know, the clue should have been when he cited the number of games, because I'm thinking, Chiesa's not that old. Why has he played that many games? That should have been the fucking red flag
and he's
for
fucking
him.
injury prone. He's thrown out 400 odd games.
Yeah,
You're like, what?
Yeah, it was the 400 games. I was thinking, that's a fucking lot for someone who's not that old. And then, yeah, that'd be why, because it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I was calling for Chiesa to be brought on tonight. I would have even brought Chiesa's dad on tonight. Mo was that bad. I'm like, you know what? Just get both Chiesas on. I don't mind. I'm fine. Get Mo and Diaz off and bring the Chiesas on.
I genuinely think that would have been I take your point, Jules, about it being physical, but they were so deep at that point, and they had no interest in playing any football. Like, the one thing Chiesa's got, he's got a shot on him. So if you get him in a dangerous area, touches inside the box and all that, I think that might have suited him.
I just feel like the intensity and the sort of, I don't know, we haven't seen enough of him. I did like his cameo. I know it was against Accrington Stanley on the weekend, but I did like what I saw from him. But we haven't seen enough of it, and the intensity and the physicality of the game. I just felt it was a risk. And the thing is, we all know why.
Mo off, even when he's shit.
You don't, because there's always a chance he might do something.
I'm telling you, I'd have hooked him. Like, you can't.
So would I, but that doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, because how many times have we seen him have a stinker and then sets up a goal or scores a goal or we get a penalty and he puts the penalty
Why is it
away?
fucking feast or famine with him now?
I know.
That's really frustrating. Do
you know what though? Like, there is a pattern of him not being as good in the second half of the season as the first half of the season. And he started like the last, like, you know, the second half of the season, the last 3 games we played, wasn't great against United. Thought he was awful against Tottenham. Awful today. It's like, fucking Elmo. You know, how can you just go from that to that so quickly? Now, one thing that needs to be said, so many of the points we've got this season are a direct result of him either setting up a key goal or scoring a key goal. So a lot of the points we've got are a direct result of him. And then equally, the 2 points we've dropped tonight, again, I would say that is a direct result of Mo. But he's way in credit because he's won us so many games. We're top because of the numbers that he's put up. But I'd like to see him just shrug this little shitty run of form off, because the last few games have not been good.
You could argue that the dip that we've had as a team has coincided with him having a little bit of a dip as well, couldn't you?
Which is unfair on him, because he shouldn't have to be fucking amazing every game. Yeah. Other people have got to
and it shows how important he is as well on the flip side. So.
But if he's not at his best and it's not going for him, somebody else has got to step into the breach and make something happen.
But when's Chiesa getting Premier League minutes if it's not tonight? Is my argument.
I know. I think that's a fair.
And then
the worry there is that it just gets worse for Mo, because you know the fatigue sets in and he's not getting his rest, and then suddenly he's overplayed. So I think he's got to be a bit smarter about it.
We play Ipswich in a week and a bit at home. If you're going to see Chiesa anyway, it's going to be there.
No, but my argument would be like, tonight we are fucking battering them. We're all over them. They're sitting in their own box and we're getting into the box easily. Like, that's the perfect time for me to play him. Like, I don't understand what the thought process is there. I get the whole thing of what you're saying about never take Mo off. Well, then you may as well not have a backup player then. Like, there has to be a time when he comes off the pitch.
No, there's times when I
tonight's
want him
not
off the
the
pitch,
time.
but there's been times I've wanted him off the pitch before, and then he's done something
You
and won
can't,
a game.
you can't
and it's
on the
like,
one
well,
side. You can on the one side say that and then say, right, we need to manage his minutes and make sure he's fresh for the run in. Do you know what I mean?
you manage the minutes by not playing him in the Champions League. We don't need to play him in the Champions League now. We're already
Yeah,
through.
maybe Chiesa plays there now next week.
No, I'm just he can't play every minute of every league game for me. He just can't. He just can't.
Well, maybe that's why he drops off.
Yeah,
It
in the
is.
second half. Yeah, maybe it is.
There's a pattern.
Yeah, I mean, last year was slightly different because last year was the injury. He was out for a while, then he came back and just never had it. He just never got it back. But other years, he has tailed off slightly. And in some cases, not so slightly. You know, there's definitely like been a drop off, which does make sense because he does play so much. He's fresh at the start of the season and he's flying, and then like maybe a little bit of fatigue sets in, whatever. It's just something to keep an eye on, maybe. But yeah, I would have took him off tonight. But at the same time, you've always got to be wary about doing that because of his history. The fact that he doesn't. Some players, they're having a bad game, and you think to yourself, fucking get him off. It's not going to happen for him. He's having one. Get him off, and you'd have no qualms about doing it at all. Mo's the exception to that because I've never seen anyone like that where it does not matter how shit he's playing. In his head, he's like, next chance I get, I'm going to score. It doesn't faze him.
It's a very good point, that. It's a very
and
good point.
That's why if you slot, you got to think, I'm keeping him on.
A lot of those examples you're giving of players coming off, the player wants to come off as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not working.
They know,
He's like, get me off the pitch, get me off the
it.
pitch.
They're like,
But he
it's
doesn't
not
think
my
like
day.
that. Yeah.
And he's the opposite to that, and that's
He had
that's
one
the
cleared
thing
off
that
the line,
makes him.
didn't he? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, he's had one cleared off the line, and he had that shot that the keeper saved. I mean, on another day, maybe the keeper doesn't see it, he's unsighted, doesn't get there. Mo scores, and we're all like, "Fucking hell, he was shite."
Slot's
but
argument
he's got
for
the winner
keeping
again.
him on would kind of be the same reason I'm saying bring Chiesa on. We're literally camped in their box.
Yeah.
He's the man I want there because of the pure volume.
Except
and one
Mo's
of
got
them's
a
gotta
track
go in.
record and Chiesa
Yeah,
hasn't.
and Moses.
Unless we're
Mo's
talking
gonna
I
have
know
about
400,
Chiesa senior.
400 games.
in which case,
when he
fair
played for
enough.
Sampdoria in the 90s. That was the bit that got it for me, you know. Luckily, me fucking knowing who fucking Federico's played for, like, that's what got it for me. Because I'm telling you now, that screenshot was that fucking thing was on for about 7 seconds.
Imagine it.
Pew! Went off
Monty's
straight
heart
away, and I
must
was
have
like, I
just
saw that.
sank into his boots when he seen it
Oh,
and
I
realised
did.
what he'd done. Because of all the people that were like, never admit they were wrong about anything. He's like top of that list.
Oh, fucking hell.
And like, he's some sort of, we know he works with trains, he's like a train driver or something like that. That was the best thing when he said at one time I derailed a train and I would correct this mistake before I would correct that one.
Yeah.
That was a belter, to be fair.
That was sensational.
That was good.
And he meant it, you know, he meant it.
100%. Because of this.
God. So are we putting that down as a good point or 2 points dropped?
Good point for me.
Agree.
2 points dropped for me, but it's an acceptable point. I'm not calling it a good point based on the fact we should have won. But you know, you can definitely say we've come from a goal down. First half wasn't great. You would have took a point at half time, whatever. So I just think I can't keep
You
saying
were borderline
good point.
taking a point before the game, though, as well.
No,
So
I was saying at half. I meant at half time.
Oh,
Before
at
the
half-time,
fuck
sorry.
that. Before
Yeah.
the game, no. Before the game, I thought we were going to win 3-0. I thought we were going to like put them back in the
should have done,
box
by the way.
and really put on a performance and say, yeah, use the pretenders. You're not on our level, and set the record straight after what happened at Anfield. That was what I was expecting to happen. No,
the
at
Boxing
half
Day
time,
Leicester game.
different. Yeah, that's in my head. It was going to be something like that, like a statement performance where you say, no, you're not on our level. This is what it's like playing the big boys, and that was not what happened. Well, it was in the last 20 minutes, but we didn't get the goals to back that up. So I just think you can't keep saying good point when
No, we have to beat Brentford.
Well, we just said that, didn't
Gotta
we?
beat
Like
Brentford.
the points are only
In-
good, but the string of them are not good, and that's
in
what's happening.
isolation, in isolation, they're okay.
But even a point at Brentford wouldn't be a nightmare in isolation, but in the context of the fact
you
that
gotta
they're
win,
starting
yeah.
to stack up now, you need to go and win that game, yeah. But
They're
that
having
would be an easy game.
They've done all right
easy
tonight
game.
against Man City, but Man City,
Man City's shit, though.
they've had easy run of games, haven't they, City? Like, so they've been able to like put a little mini run together where it looks like they've pulled out of this slump, but they haven't. They're still in the same spot. Brentford haven't really pulled out of their slump either, because how it's like a double negative. How can you pull out of your slump if you're playing somebody who hasn't pulled out of their slump? So Brentford still aren't in the best of form either.
I think they're a dangerous side for me.
Oh, it's gonna be tough, and I would consider playing.
Mm.
I would consider playing Simicast at left back to start to begin with.
I think
and
that's
I would consider playing Bradley at right back for a bit of more defensive solidity there, because they a lot of their work comes down the wings.
Trent was good tonight.
I thought Trent was arguably our best player, but he did have some.
Your point, Jules.
The wingers were getting the better of him.
Yeah, I'm talking about from a defensive capacity, like whether you want to still play Trent somewhere else. Do you know what? Just to go back to the Forest game, just want to once again Gravenberch dropping back to become a centre back. I know Forest didn't have a lot there, but still, like he's like fucking a utility player, isn't he? Like he just can go anywhere and just puts in a great shift.
Incredible
he was excellent again tonight.
He really is. Even the bits in the first half where when he was getting the shots off and you didn't really want him shooting, just how quickly he got into them positions. When he receives the ball and he's just a bang, suddenly he's broke 2 lines, like in the space of a second or two. He's a fucking brilliant player.
Yeah, he was class tonight. But yeah, just going back to Trent, I thought especially second half, some of Trent's passing tonight was fucking amazing. That one when he put Mo through and he just miscontrolled it. And again, it never even got a replay. I'm sick of Trent producing these fucking incredible passes that nobody else can do, and TV companies are not even showing replays of them. You have to go onto Twitter to find it.
You'll see plenty of them next year in Real Madrid.
I don't watch Real Madrid, so I won't see
them.
In the Champions League.
Why was he not shooting on that free kick, by the way? I know it was quite far out, but I was thinking, no, with the kind of dip and everything he can get on it. Sometimes you want it to be a little bit further and a little bit too close, if you know what I mean.
I wouldn't have even minded Dom having a shot from there, because you've seen what he does at every international break. Every single international break, he scores a free kick. We've seen it.
Remarkably similar goal.
Yeah, he's so consistent from that same exact spot.
Are you sure it's Dom and not his dad?
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Slobber's as McManaman keeps calling him. How has nobody told him that? Has no one said to him, Macca, it's not Slobber's Because this has been going on since he signed for us, and he's still doing it now. It's winding me up. Slobber's Fucking hell. Yeah. Okay, so Brentford, how many changes are you making?
Who are you asking?
Either. Whoever wants to go.
I'll go first. I think we're all agreed Simicast should come in for Robbo.
You're bringing Kelleher back in?
You and your dad. I think your dad's having an influence on you at the fucking.
You know what my dad said tonight? He's seen the team and he went, I'm made up with that team. That's the exact team that I would have picked. And I just looked at him. I was like, what? And he went, that's the exact... No, I mean, the outfielders, obviously I'd have my boy in goal. I was like, you slipped up there.
No. I would... I'm tempted to keep the same midfield, to be honest with you. Like, you could argue that Jones should come in for Slobbersley, but I would probably keep the same 3 if I could, because next week the midweek game is the Champions League, so there's a chance to rest some people there. And whatever you want to say about Szoboszlai's grit and determination sometimes in challenges, there's clearly he does help the tempo of the game and how we play slightly more than Jones. I'm putting Jota back in. I'm keeping Gakpo and I'm keeping Mo. Although I could put in Enrico Chiesa on the right if needs be. No, I'd keep Mo. I think I'd keep the midfield. I'd put Simicast in and I'd put Jota in.
And you're keeping Trent, or are you putting Bradley in?
No, I would say I think Trent's going to start. Me personally, I think it's a toss-up only for how... It depends what kind of manager you are, right? Do you want the opposition to worry about you, or do you want to worry about the opposition? So I think Trent will start, because I don't think Slot's a worry about the opposition kind of guy.
Agreed.
I agree with most of what you said there. Jota definitely, Costas I'd bring in. The only slight difference, I would probably give Gakpo a rest, play Diaz on the left. I wouldn't change midfield. I'd be tempted to give Kwanzaa a game instead of Ibu, but I think now he's made the decision to bring Ibu back. I think he has to persist with it, especially when he's had a bit of a rest.
As well.
Yeah, he's had a rest, he's come off, hasn't he? So I'd probably stick with him, but I wouldn't do anything else on top.
And Kwanzaa will play in the Champions League money next week.
Yeah. Is that this coming Tuesday?
It's the 21st, I think. Yeah, I think it's the 21st.
Yeah,
it's Tuesday.
I think it's isn't Tuesday the TNT games?
No,
or is it Wednesday?
they're all TNT, but Amazon get to pick the first. Amazon get to pick the first pick on the Tuesday game.
Tuesday,
right? Okay.
Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday
because it wasn't. It didn't show up on TNT's games. That was all.
Right, yeah, it's Amazon. It's Tuesday then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's Lille away, is he? Or
no, it's at Anfield.
Okay, yeah. So yeah. I would definitely make quite a few changes for that one, and go strong at Brentford. Yeah, I think I'd probably go with the team Brownie said.
Gakpo.
I would rest Gakpo. I think he's played more minutes than Diaz lately. Could be wrong on that. Yeah. Just the impression that I've got. Yeah. So I would. Plus, I like the fact you can bring Gakpo off the bench if it gets a bit stretched, and then he's got more space to cut in and get his shots away and that. So yeah.
Is your boy back from suspension on the weekend?
Yeah. I'd have him on the bench. We were just. I mean, tonight I think we were just lacking that little wee bit of Nunes with a 99th minute winner. Would have been nice to have thrown him on there. Happy memories of that ground, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that was great. That last year, that's one of those where you think, oh, we might win the league, but
that was the moment I did think we were winning it after that.
Yeah. So not so happy memories.
It was happy at the time, and it just all turned to shit afterwards. Bit like the Lovren winner against Dortmund, and that just never gets thought about anymore because we fucked it up in the final.
You've got to take these Nunes moments when you can as well, because after this season, it probably won't be here, will he?
He does look like he's going, doesn't he? Are you okay, Dave? Oh, I think he might be gone. I think you might have done it, Jules.
No, I'm still here. Just not speaking to you.
You got a lump in your throat. Jules has got a lump in his shirt.
What, I've shit myself?
No, if that happens in the summer, it happens in the summer. But I would be pissed off if we did anything stupid in January by letting anybody go.
I don't think anyone's going.
Well, hang on, to define something stupid.
Letting any player go.
What if somebody offers 70 million for Nunes?
I'd say come back in the summer. No one's going to offer that anyway. But if they did, I'd say come back in the summer.
Why is no one going to offer that?
Because they're not.
Because he's not very good.
The way the market is, who's going to pay 70 million in January?
Hey, good strikers are at a premium if he's as good as you say he is.
And clubs have not got money to do it. They're all look at Arsenal, fucking desperate for forwards and haven't got no money.
I'm not in agreement with your general take on this, by the way, about bringing players in will upset things. And
no, I'm not saying bringing players in will upset. That's not what I said. I said don't get rid of anyone.
People go.
If you bring someone in like we did with Diaz and Gakpo, that's fine. But when we brought Diaz and Gakpo in, we kept Mane and Firmino until the summer. We didn't let players go. You don't know how a new player's going to settle in.
So we know that. To say that Georgian lad who they're after, or apparently interested in, never going to happen. We know that, right? He'll go to PSG. And
we're not even in for him.
Just in theory, if we were in for him and we let Chiesa go back to Italy, then that's, for me, that makes sense. That's not upsetting anything.
Chiesa's not played.
Yeah. So my point.
But he hasn't played at all.
It depends, doesn't it? It depends on who the player is, who you're letting go.
I'm saying anyone who's played like significant minutes, I would not be letting any of them go. Whether that's Darwin, whether that's Endo, whether that's Costas, whoever, I would not be doing that. Even Tyler Morton, he wants to go. He's saying like he might have to make a decision this month. I'm like, yeah, that decision shouldn't really be yours to make. You might be needed. We've still got like. FA Cup involvement. We've got Champions League games where we might want to rest players. Now, I think that both of those Champions League games be finished by the end of January. I know we've got one next week. So maybe
first week of Feb, I think.
Maybe you get those games out the way. The next FA Cup tie, which may be in January, or I don't know, it might be February. If it's in January, the Plymouth game, you could keep players and then do something at the very end of the month, maybe when you're not,
I'd
know
have
you haven't
no
got as many
problem with
games.
letting
But
Tyler Morton go. This is why I'm saying it depends on who the player is and what the circumstances
I just think
are.
why weaken the squad when you could get injuries and you may need players like that.
No, my point here is you're buying somebody though to replace the one who's going.
yeah.
You're swapping a player. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's not what I'm saying in Tyler Morton's case. If you bought somebody, then okay. But Tyler Morton's, I don't think he's played a minute in the Premier League yet.
No, I don't think he has either. No.
Yeah, that's not my point.
He's not going to get
My
minutes,
point
is
is, I would not be selling anyone who's playing significant minutes. And I'm not against bringing somebody in. I'm just saying, if you bring someone in, don't be getting rid of anyone now. Do it in the summer. Like the way we did it with Diaz and Gakpo is perfect. I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine doing it that way. But
I'd have no problem if they sold Darwin this month. Just to be clear, no problem. But if you're talking someone like Diaz or Gakpo, then I'd have a problem.
well, you wouldn't be selling Diaz or Gakpo, would you? Although after tonight, you fucking send Diaz packing. No, I'm a massive Diaz fan. I'm not like you, Brownie. You've always hated Diaz.
I don't hate.
You wanted him sold last summer.
I was trying to get you back with the alley stuff before. That's what happens. You say something about someone like, "Oh, he should be doing more," and then you fucking hate him.
You wanted Diaz gone. You wanted him gone. Don't make me dig out the episodes of the pod or or the screenshots, the receipts I've kept from the chat.
That's fine. The context would be if we're in for the fucking top player, I'd replace him. 100%. I'd still do that now. Like 100%. Would you not replace him?
Who are you replacing him with? Who's better than him?
Someone who's better. The Georgian lad. If you
don't know
offered me
that
a
he's
swap
better, though,
between
do you?
them two, well, no. But if I'm putting my money on that he will be. Otherwise, I wouldn't fucking do the swap, would I?
Like you could say
100%.
Anthony Gordon, but the only
Anthony Gordon, I'd swap with him fucking tomorrow.
The only reason for that for me would be because of the age. You're getting someone like 4 years younger, so
Diaz is a streaky player, and what's happened this year is he's had games where he'll score 2 here and he'll get 4 and 5 or something. If you actually go and look through it, there's loads of games where he's got no goals or assists and not really had a massive impact on the game. That's not to say he hasn't had a decent season. I'm just pointing out he's a streaky player.
Are we viewing this centre forward thing any differently now?
I
think
not
been
he's
good
been
the
really,
last few games when he's played there.
That's true, yeah. Initially, it looked really good, but maybe it's one of them where teams are cottoning onto it.
That's
what
I mean.
Very quickly, and they're thinking, well, we'll just let you go into midfield and we'll just sit in here, and then you'll have to create something from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Don't know. It's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
With that.
Another thing to keep an eye on, along with Alisson and Robbo. Anything else before we go? Because we've gone on longer than I was planning to, as usual.
No, not for me.
No.
Okay, so score predictions then for Saturday.
2-1 win.
We're not keeping a clean sheet, are we?
I hate doing score predictions.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2-1 or 3-1. Definitely not a clean sheet.
Yeah, there'll be goals in it.
That and Bermo will score for them, I think.
My
He's
boy.
good. I like him.
Wiss is good as well. I don't like him. I'm still traumatised by when he fucking... Did he score a hat-trick against us? Or was it 2? I just remember a stupid yoga celebration.
2.
It's like seared in my memory.
That was
Probably
horrible.
a tough game, that.
One of them two scoring anyway, but hopefully we win. I just don't concede first because it's just getting them beyond a fucking joke.
Didn't that happen a lot last year?
It did. It happened so often last year, and it's still happening now.
Yeah.
And the amount of goals we score in the second half compared to the first is like bizarre. Total statistical anomaly.
We are the second half team, aren't we? That's why, I think we all expected against the Manx that would be all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come out second half, but we didn't really.
Nope.
But we certainly did tonight.
Of course, the real statistical anomaly is mistaking Enrico Chiesa for Federico Chiesa.
It's a good way to end it.
That's the way to end it. Okay. We'll be back on Saturday. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon.